Hello, it's Sonia Caldwell with the Greater Greenville Association of Realtors, bringing you an update about the changing landscape of diversity in America and our responsibility as realtors to manage and minimize bias in our business practice. As you know, Article 10 reminds us that realtors shall not deny equal professional services for any person for race, color, religion, sex, handicap, familial status, national origin, sexual orientation, or gender identity. Our obligation is beyond ordinary commerce. It's very performance driven. It's about the creation of adequate housing, the building of functioning cities, the development of industry and farms, the preservation of a healthy environment. And that's pretty challenging right now with hurricanes, fires, and storms. But our pledge is of performance and service. We're here, honest, integrity, and professional. That's who we are. And as professional realtors, we're always cultivating our toolbox. As consummate professionals, we're always rebuilding, training, fine-tuning our negotiating skills and CRS. We're working on our business plans, which create a roadmap for success, working on our marketing plan. So as we analyze the changing demographics in the marketplace, it's critical that we update and enhance our cultural intelligence. Our cultural intelligence refers to the skill to relate and work effectively in culturally diverse situations. See, because when we can do that effectively, it allows us to embrace unique and fresh perspectives. We have unconscious bias, all of us do. Those are the attitudes operating outside of our awareness and control, the stereotypes that we've grown up with, the categorizing, the past experiences that dictate how we view and see the world. We have conscious bias as well, that overt negative behavior that is expressed through physical and verbal harassment or exclusion. So many times when we talk about diversity, we talk about inclusion versus exclusion, because we can hire people in our office, but if we don't include them in the work environment, if we don't include them in the culture, it really doesn't mean much. As we look at bias in our community, we see bias most often during the hiring process when assigning employees to projects or promotions. We see it in beauty, bias towards attractive people, bias towards men versus women, in education, bias towards Ivy League graduates versus state graduates, ageism, discrimination based on age. We see it in buyouts and downsizing. But what we don't see is the invisible. Discrimination and bias is a real blow to self-esteem and mental health. It puts people at a higher risk of heart disease, respiratory problems, depression, and disability. It impacts a person's self-esteem and how they move forward in the world. There's some tests available if you're interested in finding out where your bias lies. The IAT is the implicit association test, has about 75% accuracy, and it allows you to measure the strength of association between concepts. We also are hearing a lot about sexual orientation. You cannot discriminate based on heterosexual, homosexual, bisexual, binary. You can't discriminate based on who people are attracted to. Since the 2015 Supreme Court decision, which legalized marriage equality, more LGBT couples are buying homes. Just like anyone else, they value a safe and welcoming community, but fear discrimination. The Equality Act, which passed in the U.S. House of Representatives in May 2019, will add opportunities, They will add sexual orientation and gender identity as a protected class and ban discrimination in housing, credit, employment, education, public spaces and services, federally funded programs, and jewelry service. But NAR is one of the largest trade organizations in the country, 1.5 million members, has been ahead of that, always on the cutting edge. Since 2011, NAR prohibits discrimination against consumer employees based on sexual orientation. And in 2013, that obligation extended to gender identity. Now, the home ownership in the LGBTQ plus community is at 49%, with the national average of 65%. But it is estimated that by 2030, that we'll see a growth in that marketplace up to 55%, one of the fastest growing markets in the country. So don't allow your religious bias or your gender bias to interfere with an opportunity to tap into another market in your business. We also see biases, natural hair. This discrimination of natural hair has been used to justify the removal of Black children from classrooms and adults from their work environment. Black women are 1.5 times more likely to be sent home from work based on their natural hair, and 80% more likely to change their hair from their natural state, locks, afro, braid, to fit into the office culture, forcing them on so many occasions to invest time and money in Eurocentric beauty standards. Just recently, though, March 18th, 2022, the House passed the Crown Act, which stands for Creating a Respectful and Open Workplace for Natural Hair. See, this Crown Act prohibits discrimination against race-based hair in the workplace and in K-12 public and charter schools based on hair texture. So, and you find it to be a little generational as well. The millennials have a whole different view as far as the natural hair than maybe someone in my generation. In my generation, I permed my hair, I had the bob haircut, the navy blue suit. That was the expectation at the time in order for me to benefit from gainful employment. As we move on and look at building muscle to navigate bias, what are some things we need to do? Well, we know in every aspect of our business, as we were preparing ourselves for our clients and building our professional toolkit, we started out using scripts. I know early on in the late 90s, dating myself, I was so into Zig Ziglar. I would listen to Zig Ziglar morning and night until I mastered the script. So when we're looking at fine-tuning our cultural intelligence, working on that, mastering that, we may begin to do some role plays and some scripts. We want to remind ourselves of the equal professional services model, which is a model that you'll learn more about in our At Home with Diversity class. We also want to always update and look at that marketing and business plan and see what markets are in our area. What are some changes? What are some innovations that we can tap into our business? We want to look into different social groups, different international groups in our marketplace that we can connect with and gain more experiences. But remember, scripts always help familiarize the brain with new processes or responses to manage anxiety. Remember, in the beginning, our unconscious bias happens quick when we're moving fast. But when we're a consummate professional, we are strategic in our approach to dealing with our clients. It's very important. As we embrace diversity. We know diversity is good for the community. It's good for our children. Cross-functional team building and diversity is about bringing the best, the brightest, the excellence from all different aspects and corners of our community and bringing that to the table for growth, excellence, and productivity and prosperity. It benefits our children intellectually and how they see the world. It benefits our society. We have classes at home with diversity. There's been a class that the National Association of Realtors has been offering since 1999. Yes, I know diversity and bias seems to be a new topic, but NAR has been on the cutting edge since the early 90s. We also have an international program called the Certified International Property Specialist, one of the most exciting designations that you can pursue. You go all over the country, you meet other practitioners from all over the world, and you have the best instructors that are actually working and doing this business all over the world. These instructors are involved in international business. There's one that comes to mind, Vivian Wong. I know I probably shouldn't pick her out, but one of the most amazing teachers I've ever had. Also, I want you to take a look at worldproperties.com. If you'd like to put some of your listings out there internationally, worldproperties.com not only allows you to list properties there, but it also gives you some basic information about that country. And I want you to look out the next couple of months. We'll be rolling out a new class called Bias Override, Overcoming Barriers to Fair Housing. The Perception Institute, which is a phenomenal group that the National Association of Realtors has hired to develop this information to make sure that we can do our job. Remember, we're here, we're honest, we have integrity, and we are professional, showing up to service the needs of the community. Our business is a pledge of performance and service. So remember, realtors are hip, honest, integrity, and fairness. That's who we are.